got the ears out of the way, I believe it's time for introductions. Good day all, I'm Isaac Bettman, or at least that's who I'll tell you I am. And, well, you can read, you're on Nobody's Advocate. Welcome. So, now that we're both familiar with each other, let's crack on. So, the big question that I imagine is on absolutely nobody's mind. Why the hell am I doing this? Well, pretty simple answer. I find myself talking to myself a lot, and I've been wanting to do something with my time a bit more recently, so I thought, hey, why not mesh the two together? So, this absolute nightmare spawned. Pretty much whole story. Yeah, that's pretty much the origin. So I thought the best way to start this little kind of a mini podcast type thing would be to, well, tell you about who I am. So let's take it from the beginning. As I've previously stated, I am Isaac, or again, that's who I'll tell you I am. I am 17 years old. Let's think. I'm 5'5". I'm about 90 pounds. Well, last I checked, I was about 90 pounds. I'm in my second year of college. I'm currently trying to get my English and Maths higher up. Fun story about that. So, what happened was, the secondary school I was going to, which I won't name here, was set for me to do a level 1 functional in English and a level 2 functional in Math, I believe. However, in order to make things fair, well, that's what I suspect their reason was, they intentionally set me down a few levels, so I was doing entry 3. Now, to any American viewers that don't know what that is, what are the final exams in America? I don't know. That is a question I've never quite got the answer to. I'll have to look that up in my spare time. Anyways, so essentially my final tests were a few grades too low for me. So now I've got to go through a few years more of hell to get my levels to where they should be. So that's pretty much that story. Let's think. What else can I talk about? I might as well tell you a bit about the secondary I went to, since I brought it up. So, fun story about my secondary. I didn't start there. Originally, I was at a completely different secondary. Again, one I won't name. And I ended up getting kicked out in my first year. Well, kicked out, I left, I think. Memories were a bit jumbled, but either way. I got kicked out during right at the end of my first year, I believe, like about 2-3 months away. And essentially, I was out of any sort of education for, I want to say about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And it took, okay, so for context sake, I was kicked out of my first secondary in May 2015, I believe. It was either May 2014 or 2015, I do not remember. And I ended up finding my second secondary in February 2017, I believe. It's an alright place, to be fair. Not kind of a lot going on. It's a very small place. I think there were only about 120 students maximum. But it was pretty alright place. Like, how best do I describe it without making it sound like a shithole? Well, I guess I'll start off with the people I was with. Most of them were alright. I won't name any of them, at least not by their real names anyway. If they see this, they'll probably know who they are, just by the descriptions I'm going to give them. First, we'll call him Michael. We'll call him Michael. He was a solid mate. He was a bit taller than me. Yeah, kind of a, I want to say a buzz cut. He was very short haired though. bit like an EDL member, which we definitely gave him shit for, but he was solid bloke. Like, he was. I remember the story. He actually got moved up a year because he threatened to, and I quote, he threatened to kill a teacher and piss on their grave. I shit you not, that's pretty much what I was told happened. I think it's pretty funny. But yeah, solid bloke all around. Next up, so going left from him, we're gonna have who I'll call Simon. We'll call him Simon. He was sound as well. He was the funny man of the class, pretty much. Like, he was constantly not wisecracking, but he was making jokes. Now, I'd say I'm pretty similar in that regard, but there's one main difference. The fact that he was funny. I was only rarely funny. But, anyways, not important. Yeah, not much to say about him. Solid bloke. Really tall. Well, either he's really tall or I'm just really short. Probably the latter, but, well, hey, here we are. Yeah, I recall him being a pretty cool guy. Not much else to say about him. Solid man. Anyways, next we'll move up a row to who I'll call, let's come up with a fake name. I'll call him, I'll call him Arthur. Let's call him Arthur. He was a fairly solid bloke. Kind of kept to himself a lot, I'll say. Like, he didn't talk much. But when he did say something, he was always usually pretty interesting. Although I will say this about him. He was a massive Star Wars fan. Like, there were two things that he really liked and would not shut up about. Star Wars and football. And let me tell you, when you're in the same class as a bloke who likes Star Wars and football for about 3 years, it starts to get a little greying. But outside of that, he was actually really interesting. We had somewhat similar stories as to how we ended up there. I'm not going to go too into detail, but either way. Anyways, moving on. Next, right in the centre. I should clarify now, we were a class of 8. We were a class of 8, as I was saying. So anyways, moving on. Okay, let's think of a fake name again. Beware, I'm doing all of this unscripted, if you couldn't tell. Like, I'm just winging it with this and hoping for the best. Then there was... I'm gonna call Courtney. Let's call her Courtney. She was fun, very quiet. Very quiet. Like, really keep to herself kind of person. Like, she joined in the class, but she was definitely the most hunkered down of us. Not really a lot to say. She's probably, like, the only one from that class I still keep up with, to be fair. I can keep up with some of the others from time to time, but I wouldn't say I'm particularly active. So yeah, all around, solid. Then from there we have who I'm going to call him Jacob, and that's specifically because he had a quiff. And a quiff has always given me the name Jacob. Anyways, he was solid. He was also a bit of a wisecracker. Like, where did I go with this? he'd always kind of think about... He was very much the troublemaker of the class. Like, he would constantly get on the faculty's nerves. But he was funny, you know? He was just funny. Not really too much else to say about him. He was the class troublemaker. He made a lot of chaos. He was a pretty solid bloke. And funnily enough, he's the one who recommended me the college I'm in right now. He doesn't go there anymore, I don't believe. But, alright, solid bloke. Anyway, last two. What are we gonna call him? Let's call him Greg. I think he was only a little taller than me, like a few inches at most. Kind of a dirty blonde, not dirty blonde hair. Very blonde, he was very blonde, I'll say that much. I'm not quite sure how to describe him. He was definitely the oddball of the class. I think that's all I can really call him, like the oddball of the class. He was sound, but he was a bit strange. Liked him though. Anyways, final person. We're gonna call him Jim. Initially, I thought Jim was a massive wanker. I can't lie. I thought he was a colossal prick. But over time we warmed up to each other. I won't say we're like best friends or nothing. But we got on alright. He's a sound lad, pretty funny. Recommend him, I rate him, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much it for that lot. Anyways, enough about those bastards. Back to yours truly. I've got about 2 minutes. Actually, probably closer to 1 minute, but let's crack on. So, I consider myself kind of ambiverted, if you will. Like, I don't go out of my way to avoid people, but I don't find conversation easy. It's just not something that naturally comes to me. But I think that's fun. It allows me to kind of live life at my own pace. I think, all around, I consider myself an alright person. I'd like to be better, though. I would like to be a lot better than I am. I think that would apply to everyone, though. I think everyone wants to be better than they are. But that's not really something I worry about. I just cruise through life. You know, I wanna do something, and so I started this hell. This will probably happen roughly I plan to do this every Friday around 4 PM. Should be a fun little romp. I think that's pretty much most of the time I have. So, without further ado, I bid you farewell, and good luck out there.